And welcome to another episode of the Supersub Podcast. Thank you all for listening to us. This is Thursday, August 25th, 2022. We are back for another season with myself, Colburn, and my co-hosts, Brian and Chris. We, of course, if you haven't been here before, want to welcome you first and foremost to our channel. Please find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for all of your highlights of this show, but obviously full clips will be on YouTube. But I encourage you, please share us, like us. We will take any feedback, both good and bad. Brian can take it. He's a big boy. So we'll be able to roll with the punches, but please like, subscribe, and comment. So thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it. Gentlemen, we had a huge weekend and actually a great Champions League draw to discuss today, which we'll get to later in the show. But first, Liverpool, let's start with Man City. Let's start with Man City and Newcastle. Do you wanna kick it off, or should I kick it off?
I think you should kick it off. You got the background going.
Man City and Newcastle, arguably the Premier League's next best game of the season, in my opinion, after an absolutely incredible 3-3 draw. I enjoyed every part of this game, and to cap it off, that's why I have Kieran Trippier in the back. That free kick at the end was delicious. And frankly, I think we should talk about that start. So, Brian, what did you think?
Well, I'm not going to steal too much of Chris's thunder, but the French winger, Alain Saint-Maximin, was amazing going down the left wing against Kyle Walker. You don't typically see Kyle Walker's just such a stud athlete. You don't typically see him kind of get beat for pace and tricks like he was, but he was kind of having his way with him. Couple of just amazing passes, the assist to open the scoring was amazing, and it just seemed like every time he was getting the ball, he was running downhill at Man City and catching them on their back foot, and that was my favorite part of watching this game was him just attacking those Man City players. And it's really too bad that France is so good because he won't sniff the national team, and that is a player right there for sure. Chris, I'm sure you enjoyed it.
I'll be honest with you. I almost forgotten about that A+ performances from Alain Saint-Maximin, and you did like an amazing transition for me, so I really appreciate it. Is that at the end of last year, he basically came out from quotes that were taken out of context from an interview, I believe, that made it sound him that he was a little bit arrogant. Like he was saying, like I can't be in the squad the day in and day out, meaning of the French squad. I want to be part of the French team, and he had like a season that was some really good time and some time a little bit lower. Even though, like in the Newcastle squad, it's difficult to have a good season, even though now they're getting a little bit more talent in. And, if he wants to get a look from Didier Deschamps, the French national coach, he's going to need to perform in those big games against Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. And so that's what he did. And that was amazing. I mean, it was a great game all around. Speaking of
he was sick.
Tierney,
sick.
Like really amazing free kick. I had him in my fantasy league. I had to swap him from Saliba. Thankfully, Saliba got the clean sheet and scored a goal. So that was a great move from fantasy league manager Chris Wenzel. But back to topic. I'd love to know. What did you think in terms of like the overall game and the crazy scoreline, right? 3-3.
You know what? I have to say, I was wondering as I was watching the game, is Newcastle for real? They have great players. St. James's Park was rocking. I thought the atmosphere was excellent. I thought in many stretches they outplayed Man City. The thing is that in many cases, I sometimes find that draws are hard on one team or another, but I actually thought both teams, with Man City's true excellence, I mean, the fact that they came back there was just De Bruyne's assist on the final goal is absolutely sumptuous. But the fact that they came back was excellent. And then the grit and determination from, I thought, all of the Newcastle players, which included the Trippier free kick, which, by the way, was the yellow card given right outside the box on an excellent counterattack, was well deserved. So I thought it was a feast for the football fans, as they say.
Yeah, and so speaking of that yellow card, obviously we talk a lot about bad refereeing, and last week with Chelsea, Tottenham, really bad performances from the iconic refereeing duo of Mike Dean, now retired. No, it's still here, but at VAR. Yeah, English Premier League fan, you think you could have get away with it, but no, it's still here to haunt your teams. And so I believe that was Michael Oliver. It was really good performances from him. He did let in play, and he gave like a straight red card, I believe, to Tierney,
To Trippier.
To Trippier, like, yeah. A few minutes before that free kick, and so that we almost would have been robbed of that amazing magical moment. So, and then he was taken away and just transformed into a yellow.
I thought justly, by the way.
Yeah.
Is this the one where he like flew in and chopped him in the middle of the thigh?
Well, okay, chopped is I would say lightly grazed, or perhaps finely sliced.
No, it wasn't the thigh. It wasn't the thigh. He at some point it sounds like he was going for the knee, and then when you go for the knee and like the thigh, yes, that's red card. And he ended up going like just like by the I forgot the word in English, to protect your fibula. So protège tibia in French. And so he was lucky that like it ended up lower than the knee. And that's the reason why, I mean, that's what I saw. Maybe like he did hit, but like on the replay, it sounded like at first he was gonna end up on the knee, and that's why like maybe that's what the referee saw. And so from what I saw, I thought it was a yellow, but maybe you guys saw like a different image.
I think refs need to send guys off more often.
That's
my general take.
I thought it was a fatty yellow. I thought it was the fattest fat yellow.
All right.
But was it a red? No, it wasn't. So it was a cynical tackle, but it wasn't.
Yeah, Brian, if you want to see more players sent away, I know it's not what we're supposed to do, but like, sorry, you're talking about it right now. In France, the last week, they beat a record of 11 red cards. And there was like 2 games with two red cards for each team. And so it was 9 against 9. So you can watch Ligue 1 if you want to watch more red cards.
Perfect. Get right back to being sports for that.
That's right.
I think it's just in general though, like there's so many cynical challenges in the game today that it kind of, I don't know, a lot of it just doesn't belong. It's not in the right era of sportsmanship. So sometimes they get away with a lot of kind of bullshit to me. Where they're just stopped. They're completely.
This is a kids show.
Yeah, whatever.
Show.
They just are completely, shutting down a counterattack, knowing that they'll just get a yellow card. But I don't know. It's
no, even sometimes they don't even get a yellow card. Then that's to me that's the part that annoys me the most. Is like, okay, it's early in the game. I will just get a verbal warning and I will be good with that. And for me, there should be like counter attack. It's a yellow. And
every time, no matter what, even if it's your first
regardless,
defense,
I totally agree with you on that part. But in Premier League, I think it's a bit more consistent with that. It's not 100%, but it's more consistent. Where like in other league, like it's just like, it's just like a foul in the middle of the pitch, like and the referee don't have that sense of the game of the sports. Where in England they're a little bit better at this. The referee, I would say, in my opinion.
Michael Oliver, I like him a lot. And when he was like a younger ref, I thought this guy's going to be such a great ref. He seems to have fallen off a little bit, but maybe he's rounding back into form. Big Michael Oliver guy.
Yeah, and he's going to have a chance to refereeing maybe the final of the World Cups, which would mean England doesn't make it there.
Book it.
Do you think that Newcastle is for real this season?
Probably. Yeah, I think they seem like, I don't know. I mean, anytime, if you're putting, Man City to the sword a bit, unlike other top teams that can have an off week, Man City never seems to really have very many off weeks. So even though they're at home, I think scoring 3 goals against them, all pretty high quality, I think it's a pretty darn good sign of things to come.
What is the definition of for real? I'm guessing, obviously,
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
We are a serious show, so I'm guessing you're not talking about top 4.
Not a threat to be relegated. How about that?
Oh no, that's way too low of a bar. Come on, I was talking like
For Newcastle?
first part of the table, at least. Like I was talking about like maybe like 7th to
better than Everton.
Place.
How about that?
Yeah, way better than Everton. Top half for sure to me, Newcastle.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I'm not gonna do like a full analysis of the squad. Obviously, that would be way too boring. But like, let's look at Corbyn's background. So you have Trippier, which is I know he's past his prime, but he's like a top talent on the wing, and he's proven making it to the English squad, even though that's not necessarily the barrier to make it to the English squad when you don't have a coach that's not really that good. But on the other part of the image, you have Bruno Guimaraes, who came from Lyon at the winter window of the last mercato. And he's a top prospect at the defensive midfield. Like, he's probably one of the best in the world and growing right now, making it to the Brazilian squad. Then they just got like a better goalkeeper, which was lacking, Nick Pope. So still English goalkeeper. So
you're not biased.
center backs, like, like they have, like, when you look at, like, like Matt Target and all that stuff, like they came from teams that were like making it like in the first half of the table. So they are a solid team. So they won't be a relegating battle this year. They will be just below Europe, I would say. But apparently, like, like we think they have like the financial power, but apparently with financial fair play, they cannot spend as much. So that's why like, they are just like doing incremental. And anyways, that's the best way also to do that, rather than do the Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain way, when you overpay talent. And then after, they are stuck with like a 5 years contract. And you have Julian Draxler, that's a wasted talent, and that doesn't want to leave even in a World Cup year because he gets paid $10 million a season, and he's not going to get paid there anywhere else. So if you do like the Newcastle way and incrementally, so it's going to take like 1-2 more seasons to actually eventually be competing to top 4. But then that's the best way. And then you have other issues, right? Where like you have to be like, but since you're not outpaying, then it's easier to find like another
it's
club.
Like how Man City did it.
I think top half is fair for them, and I think it was an impressive performance at home against Man City. They will take that point all day, and I thought they deserved it.
Yeah,
good for the league too.
Yeah,
Man City doesn't go undefeated.
Yeah,
and win all 38 games.
Speaking of the other team in Manchester, actually, want to transition to Monday night's game, Liverpool and Man United. I thought there was a lot to unpack here. Man United winning 2-1 after going through what can only be described as a PR crisis over the last probably 2-3 weeks, based on their performance on the pitch.
2-3 years. It's the most dramatic club ever. Unbelievable.
Well, these guys have stunk to start the year. They came out and they legitimately beat Liverpool at home. The Theater of Dreams was rocking. I have really enjoyed that. Brian, what were your thoughts on the game?
Man United came out and ran, which was important. All the stats every year come out and they run a lot less than these teams at the top, and it's kind of just a bit embarrassing on the players that these guys can't go out and literally just run as much as some of these middle tier teams. So I thought the first like 20-25 minutes was really good energy, high pace. A little bit after that, United took the lead, a sweet goal from Sancho, And then Liverpool kind of controlled the play pretty much for the rest of the game, but to no real, I don't know, they were lacking. I think they were in the ballpark for how much Man United ran. So I don't think Liverpool didn't like hustle or anything like that, but just a bit slow with all of their play going forward. Couldn't really create anything of like real value. Snatched one late with Salah. Yeah, a bit disappointing. Liverpool's start is now looking pretty bad. I said it last week after they only got 2 points against Crystal Palace and Fulham that was a terrible start to the season. There's just no way you can get around that. Now you had a defeat to Man United, and they're kind of a bit in crisis now, I would say. But at the same time, you know, for all the press and positive Man United stuff, they could only get 30% of the ball at home. So, you know, how great is that? I mean, I don't know. That's certainly not anything that's going to get you back into the top four, I don't think. But, you know, showing heart and actually running around and outrunning your opponent goes a long way too. So I think they deserve credit for that, but we'll see. It's just one game for both of them. So I'm not ready to say Man United's back by any stretch.
I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, probably. Were Man United as bad as they were at the beginning of the season to go lose 4-0 to Brentford like last week? No. Were they, you know, are they good enough to beat, you know, Liverpool consistently? I would also say no. So it's probably somewhere in the middle. They underperformed and then they overperformed on Monday. But I also thought they were due a little bit for that. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it wasn't like a test 1-1, even though Man United was in crisis. Like before the game, they wanted to meet at a hotel, and the fans were vehement, and Man United staff and squad had to back out and not go to that hotel because they didn't feel safe. So they didn't start from the right foot. But they delivered, yeah, like they ran, like because they were like running as much as PSG, and that's not a good standing typically to win a football game. But like on the Liverpool squad, when you look at it, Matip and Konate were both injured, so they had to play Joe Gomez, who is like just a rotation player.
Chris, can I just stop you? Joe Gomez was awful. He is awful and was awful in that game. I think he's terrible. Every time I watch him, I go, what is going on? Are we looking at the same player?
No. You're looking at the same player. I mean, he was part of the squad like 5 years
That's
ago.
Crazy. Before, some of the plays yesterday were just like, or on Monday, we're like, what are we doing back there?
Yeah.
And also Van Dijk was a little off, especially on the goal. Brian pointed it out. I don't know what Van Dijk was doing there, but
there's a statue back there. Just watching Jadon Sancho just kind of dribbling around, like 8 yards from the net.
I don't know if you saw the meme.
Step up.
Like there is a meme of him like when he's like a little bit bent and like with his hand behind the back, and he basically looked like Liam Gallagher from Oasis. And they added like a bucket hat on him and like a mic, and like it totally looked like, and sunglasses, it totally looked like Liam Gallagher. Like and they are fan of Manchester City, so I thought that was a good portrait and a good meme. I really like that one.
You know what's hilarious, Chris, is that Colburn has no idea.
I have no idea what that reference is.
That's right. That's for our European friends. They'll be they'll
if it's not a rapper, Colburn's way out. Oasis, never even heard of him.
A cool story about that one. Don't worry. You'll understand afterward.
Wonderwall, you're like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Are we talking about Jurgen Klopp or what?
Alcantara out, but we know he plays one game out of two, so we know that. Anderson past his prime.
Terrible. I thought he stunk.
Coming back from injury. And so then you play Harvey Elliott, you had to play Anderson and Milner. And Milner, like, yeah, he's great. Like, he's the record.
I can't believe he's still out there. For what he is, he plays well, but he can't be in the starting lineup.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's what, like, you know, we always knew that is that Liverpool cannot compete on the depth. They can have like one injury per line, but they cannot have two. And like they have two injuries a center back with Marip and Konate at the same time. And in the midfield, they have like, and they haven't replaced Wijnaldum. Sorry, I'm not perfect on the Wijnaldum.
Don't worry. Dutch is controversial, Chris.
Just ask Brian for all your Dutch pronunciation.
Jorginho.
There you go. Wijnaldum.
That's right. And I mean, they got like a Portuguese player from Fulham, but like he's, I believe, 18 or 19. And so he's not ready for, I think it's Fabio Carvalho, I believe. And he's not ready for prime time.
Yeah.
Luis Diaz, I love him. We all love him.
We do.
But he needs.
I thought he's missing. There's something missing, maybe not even in his game, but in the connection with his teammates.
Yes, and also the finishing. I know he scored, like he came out from like an amazing goal, but he's also missed a lot. And we know it's like, when you cut back in, but like the masters of those cutting back in is Arjen Robben and Franck Ribéry, and he's not at that level, and he can be like particularly like kind of that kind of level. And also let's talk about the elephant in the room. Liverpool couldn't, based on their financial, I mean, that's the thing I don't understand, because they have the money they want to spend, but they just don't want to spend.
Spent it all on Darwin Nunez.
They throw it all on Nunez.
They spent a lot on him for what they sold.
Yeah, and letting go Sadio Mane.
Oh, can we talk about this, Chris? Actually, Brian has a great take on this.
All right.
I'll give it to Brian on the floor here, but there are many people after watching the game who would say Liverpool needs Sadio Mane, and that game would have been different. Brian?
Yeah, I don't agree at all. So, like as we're saying with Liverpool's injuries, I was going to get into that, right? If they don't have Thiago, who's a terrific player, forced to start Harvey Elliott, they are missing a bit in the midfield specifically. Henderson used to be a better player. Fabinho came in the second half, and I know he's a bit fresh off an injury, but it looked like he probably could have played and started. And I think that's just you have Fabinho and Thiago in that game the whole game. Are we talking about some like inspired Man United victory? Maybe, but I don't think so. It's the same stuff we talk about every week. But if the midfield isn't there, you're not going to compete for Champions Leagues. You're not going to win titles. And so that's why I think that all this Man United stuff is a bit of an overreaction. They had 30% of the ball against the Liverpool team, missing most of their midfield. Like, to me, that's almost like a bit embarrassing that they can't play with the ball against a team that's so kind of depleted. So I think, Sadio Mane, he would have had the same struggles as Mohamed Salah did in this game on Monday, not getting the service from the midfield. The midfield has to be there. Any top team has the midfield every time. So that's why I think Liverpool gets Thiago back, they'll be fine. Thiago and Fabinho, I think playing more consistently will be big, although it's a risk because they don't have the depth. But yeah, for United, I think if they can't control the ball against a team without, a really top level midfield, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They hustled. I guess that's really all I can say for Man United. They hustled, they got the win. That's nice. But other than that, I still think they've got a long way to
go. Chris, any final thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. So I would say Brian is the king of the transition, honestly, because like the last final thought is a great point. It's the derby of England. And, sometimes based on my history of the French classic, Paris Saint-Germain OM, PSG at the time would not be would be in a relegation battle, and Kiel Marseille would be like in the battle for the title, just because it was a derby and they got the energy for it. So that's why like we cannot test based on one game. It needs to be a series. But one thing I'll say that like right now, it sounds like the Man United depth is getting crazy. It's just like in terms of like if you look at every position, like it's honestly like on paper, if those players delivers to their value, but that's one thing. When you go to Man United, it sounds like you lose a little bit of your potential and your skill set for some reason. But like if you look at the depth that's happening at wing back, at center backs. Even Varane had the best game I have seen from him in like 2 years since he left Real Madrid. Like the Varane's game was amazing, I thought. I don't know, but that was the first game he's played, even with France and Man United. That was the best. And if Varane with Lisandro Martinez start to play, and we don't hear about McFred anymore, and now there is Casemiro that goes in the mix. And if Rashford is back to Rashford pre-2020, we're not talking about obviously a title contender. We're talking about top 4, top 5 teams. So for me, they have the right coach also. They are trying to do Anthony, $400 million. And that's the thing, is like they have Jadon Sancho, which did amazing skill set. I love that. That was really FIFA-esque skill set that he did when he dribbled all that stuff. And I was like, okay, that's the Jadon Sancho from Dortmund.
Yeah, that was nice.
And Anthony, I believe, is plays on the same side of the wing, and so like
this is a typical.
Yeah, no, but Brian's gonna get triggered.
Way to,
Brian's gonna.
I'm already triggered, dude. I mean, Anthony's, I'm sure, a sweet player, dude. It's like you're still playing Scott McTominay like all the time. Get a midfielder. They have so many forwards and wingers. Man United, if you go and look at their roster, it's insane the amount of guys that they could throw up on top, or even like attacking mids. Their roster is full of them. They're going to just go buy another one. I think that is just insanity to me.
Yeah, because then after you get frustrated players on the bench that feel like they could play the whole game.
They can't. You can't put it out enough.
10 minutes, that's right. And also the elephant in the room for Man United is Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
Marcus Rashford, good finish. We should talk. Give him a little props. Coleman loves Rashford.
Well, so actually, we gotta go on. You know what's most interesting is I thought you were gonna bring this up, Chris. You know who delivers the assist on the Rashford finish is the guy I never hear about ever.
Anthony
Martial.
Anthony Martial, yeah.
Oh yeah, he just got a gift from Henderson. That turnover.
Yeah, that was
horrible.
That was like Brian out there playing intramural soccer on Wednesday night, just clunking it off his shin guard.
Shin guard, that was the word I was looking for.
Shin guard. There you
go. Ten Hag is actually loved Anthony Martial a lot.
Automatically I respect him less.
He wants to start him as a 9, but that's the thing. He gets injured a lot too.
Yeah, well, and he's lazy.
Ten Hag ran with the team after they lost to Brentford. I actually thought that was kind of cool.
I think Martial is a low in FIFA.
Yeah, he is a low. That's
a low in FIFA.
There's
like Balotelli and Martial.
When he was sold from Monaco to Man United, they thought he was such a big prospect, at the Golden Boy and all that stuff, that one of the add-on was like $10 million to Monaco if Anthony Martial wins the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, no, hilarious. Also, Martin Tyler goes crazy on Martial's first goal. I always see that clip pop up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that is great. Gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the English Premier League recap for the weekend. We're going to move to the French League very briefly to talk about PSG. 7-1 over the weekend. I think
Chris might need a full episode to talk about this game.
7-1. I would say I would use the word irresistible to describe PSG over the weekend. Basically, from the moment they kicked the ball off, that set play, which had them scoring within what, Chris? 10 seconds? 8 seconds?
8
left. Yeah,
breaking the record of Liga.
8-second record-breaking goal. I mean, I don't have anything to add other than the highlights of this game I could watch as if it's like a video game. When I just smoke people online at FIFA, like 8-1 and they don't quit, this is what the game looks like.
That's right. I mean, the American version highlight of this is touchdown, Paris Saint-Germain, conversion, 7-1. And the European one is game, set, and match, Paris Saint-Germain, set 7-1. So a little bit of context on that first goal. That's a record breaking of Ligue 1, because before Ligue 1 was called D1 for Division 1, and there was Michel Rio from Caen, that's like Normandy, where D-Day beaches are. and he scored in 7.96 seconds. So technically, he has the fastest goal scored in the Championnat de France. But Ligue 1 was, I believe, started in 2002. So Mbappe has that record, and I didn't think, and Mbappe wants to break every record possible, and I didn't think he could have that one, make that one. So apparently that play has been played several times by different teams. There is one team in the Netherlands that did it. There is a team in Germany too. And last year's Paris Saint-Germain Youth Champions League team did it also. And so they wanted to do a little bit of a retro to that. That's a game that actually the Paris Saint-Germain youth team lost. That was the only goal they scored the whole game. So, scoring too early is important. And Colburn remembers when I told him that about England scoring too early in the final of Italy. And
Chris, I never had a doubt. I was watching that whole game and I go, these guys have got it.
I don't remember it quite that way too. I remember being a mental support to you and telling you, don't worry, I have faith. They score way too early.
Chris, you were like, don't cry on my shoulder.
So basically, that's not a play that invented, but the fact that a team with Messi, Neymar, and Ronaldo can actually deliver on a tactical play like this, not that they don't have the skills to do it. Obviously, Mbappe has the speed, and obviously it doesn't get enough credit, but Messi's clinical pass, this whole thing, they could look ridiculous if Messi doesn't put it perfectly at the right moment. And if Neymar,
who's surprised here? Wow, who's surprised here?
Crazy he did that.
I know it's perfect ball. It's not 1 inch too long. It's not 1 inch too short. It's just a perfect ball. And just the team full of stars are okay, yeah, we're going to do a tactical thing. It's kudos to the manager to be hey, you guys, this is what we're going to do. And they do it. So that's why I'm very excited, even though, this week they will play against Monaco, even though Monaco is not in a good way of form. They lost against PSV Eindhoven, which ended up losing against Rangers and for the qualifying of the Champions League. But yeah, the whole game was just as we say in French, caviar for caviar. So basically delivered on a silver platter assist. Neymar only got 9 out of 10 in L'Equipe. He didn't get the 10 out of 10, which is perfection. And I believe there's only been 13 times since they started grading games in L'Equipe.
Messi has one of those.
Neymar has one of those for his first game, I believe, against Guingamp, where he scored a quadruple, I believe. And recently got another one. I think Neymar has 2 of them.
PSG, by the way, Chris, has 17 goals in 3 games.
And that's not a record, unfortunately. The record after 3 weeks, is Stade Rennais in 1952 to 1953 is 18 goals. But there was it was a different
game back then.
It was 17 goals in 3 games. That is insane.
I know this is insane. And it's slow. When you look at the expected goals, it's only 4. So which means they are they scored things even the Mbappe goals that on his left foot, which is not his strong foot, he's not in a good angle, and he scores that top bin, no problem.
Messi's goal found to be particularly sweet.
Messi's goal is like tucking away a child for bed. He's let me just very casually put this right in the corner. It was a thing of beauty. Actually,
I loved it.
It wasn't flashy or exciting. It was just the ability to redirect the ball at a perfect angle for the corner.
That's right. And also the action, the chance were basically the goal when Mbappe fakes the strike. That was probably the best, the sweetest skill of the night. And Neymar is on his own, and he just have to adjust the goalkeeper. One thing I have to say is, even though it was at Stade Pierre Mauroy in Lille, and Lille has a Portuguese player, Fonseca, that used to be at AS Roma. And he played. He didn't like just like, okay, we're just gonna sit back and like wait for Paris Saint-Germain. I know when you're at home, technically, you just want to play a little bit more, but like at least he played, like, because there's gonna be team that are gonna be like scared and they're gonna play a low block, and then the scoreline is not gonna be 7 down. So yeah, I mean, I forgot all the goals honestly, but like, yeah.
Well, there's one
So
that
many.
there's one
Sergio
that
Ramos scored. He did, right? Or is that a different week?
I can go look that up. What I'd be surprised if he didn't. My favorite one was actually Mbappe's give and go, that Mbappe sprints about 40 yards to get the give and go back from Neymar, and then he finishes it nicely.
Oh yeah, that one. And Neymar was waiting for him to come back. Like he was like having 3 players around, and Neymar like did also a sweet assist again. Neymar, like when he plays like this, when he plays simple and when he doesn't like try to dribble, I know like we all love the Neymar that dribbles, and like he's probably like the best dribblers I've seen past Messi's prime. Yes. So second.
Yeah, careful, Chris.
And Maradona. So third maybe. But like in the latest history, in terms of like the best dribblers that we've had, like Ronaldo, he only did that at the beginning of his career. Like I don't know, like Anthony also is a dribbler, but he's not, the talent of Neymar. But the problem when Neymar does that, he does that with arrogance, and then he get injured. And so now when he plays with his pass, like first of all, it's much more efficient, and it does look very sweet too. And he didn't get fouled in this game, and he barely got like knocked anytime. And so if he plays like this, he's gonna be able to have full season. And anyways, like those 3, they have 1 goal, and it's for November, December. So that's one thing, is like when they come back in December, January, it will be a different season, and that's when actually Champions League gets real. And so that will be a different season. So I feel like that's the best beginning of the season in like maybe 2-3 years of Paris Saint-Germain. It's been actually nice to watch Paris Saint-Germain play. It's been fun. I don't get stressed out anymore watching Paris Saint-Germain and hoping Mbappe.
Well, so far. No. I'm not too worried.
Great.
Until November, I'm not worried. It's just like when they come back from the World Cup, and they're gonna be like at least 2 of those 3 that will be disappointed, if not all the 3 of them, and see how they come back. I'm not worried about Mbappe. He's come back from missing his penalty against Switzerland, and he came back stronger. Neymar, if he doesn't win, yeah, and that's the thing. Neymar, if he doesn't win, he's not gonna be happy, and if he wins, he might party too much.
Neymar is the wild card for sure. Yeah, I think Mbappe will be fine. He's young. Neymar just he's all over the place. When he's on, he's amazing. It's not, arguably the best player in the world. Yeah. Chris, can we get 10 seconds on Tim Weah?
So you want a clip for TikTok and Instagram? That's what you're trying me to do right now.
No, because you actually watched the game, and I'm curious to see if you still hate him as much as you usually do.
Well, Lille plays tomorrow actually, and the only reason, and they play against Ajaccio, which is in Corsica, which is a beautiful region of France. But as a club, they're like they don't have enough money, so unfortunately their stadium looks like 3rd division tier and all that stuff. So I was not gonna watch the game, and unfortunately Tim Weah has been injured, and he's not gonna come back. So so he didn't play, unfortunately. But yeah, since you're bringing that up, what I've been saying is like, Brendan Aronson, remind me, he plays the right winger, right? Or he can play like basically like, midfield, but like on the right side of the pitch, right? That would be Tim Weah's place, right?
I'd do Aronson over Weah, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guess?
I don't know if I would.
But I might play Weah at the 9. I don't know.
Oh no. You're trying to stop me right now. You're trying. No. The number 9, we know who that is. It's Sargent, which has been on fire. Then you can bring Aji Wright and Pifok or Sibachu. Some of the American fans might have discovered from his interview today in Football Americas that he did the interview in French because he's not too comfortable in English, and so that's a problem. And that's why he cannot like really connect with. So maybe he has Timothy Watt translated for him. But like yeah, the best would be Josh Sargent, and he's very compatible with our gangsta coach Triple G.
Triple G in the Air Force One.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Bern, what we got next?
So we're moving on to Serie A. I want to.
Perfect.
To be honest, you know what? There's not actually a lot going on in Serie A at the start of the season. There's not a lot of drama. There's been some interesting developments. Napoli has been scoring a lot of goals against bad teams. So I read into that what you'd like. Juventus with a very disappointing 0-0 draw earlier on Monday against Sampdoria, which is a head scratcher. But the game I wanted to talk about was the game of the weekend, which is Atalanta Milan in Bergamo. And I don't know if you guys watched it, but I did.
No.
And
missed it.
So 1-1 draw. Malinowski with the first half opener for Atalanta, and then Benacer with the equalizer in the second half. Here's my thinking. Here's my comments on the game. One, Atalanta are back playing better than they did at the end of the season. That train wreck was unwatchable at the end of last season. They do have a lot more. They have a lot more verve. The same verve that they have usually under Gasperini, which is a combination of aggressive pressing and quality possession. That I'm very happy with. Duvan Zapata, my guy. I love this guy, but he has too many moments in the game where he's basically invisible without service. And that's my big thing with him. I enjoy, especially as a target man, I think he does a lot of good things well, but I find, he can lack the ability to drive into play. The rest of the Atalanta team is built forward tough, as they say. I actually quite like the team. They've made some good signings. Lookman, who's the Dutch winger they brought in over the summer, he's actually looking good. No pun intended. We'll see what Atalanta finishes this year, but at least I'm encouraged at the start. Milan had far more chances they didn't convert. I think they're missing something. Leao didn't play well, hasn't played well to start the season. Benacer was their best player. He actually deserved that equalizer. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Tonali came back from injury. Theo Hernandez continues to be Jekyll and Hyde for me. I love him deeply. I know he's a friend of the podcast here. I think he is just incredible. He's incredible. The only problem is that every game I watch him, he picks up at least a yellow card. And I love that though. So
the Marco Verratti life.
Yeah, it's like FIFA. It's like it doesn't matter.
He's unbelievable. But you know what? He always, his ability on the ball as an attacking fullback is unrivaled. He's just excellent. He just causes trouble every time he makes those driving runs. So I enjoy watching him in Serie A. I think he's excellent. I think he's great. But he was another standout actually for Milan. He has multiple runs a game. I just watch and I go, this guy's sick.
Yeah, how about Kalulu, Mike Maignan?
I mean, I thought they were okay, but they weren't really challenged. I didn't say Atalanta didn't really put together too many offensive possessions.
Is Muriel still there?
Yeah, he came on as a sub.
Still love that guy.
Yeah, the one problem for Atalanta is, it's like as we said on our chats, they're like basically like a Ligue 1 club where they sell a lot and they have to find new talent, and it takes time like to play Gasperini's type of football, which we love. It takes time to get to develop and to gel well, and looks like Malinowski might be leaving, and he's like a key piece of the puzzle for me, so that's also another question mark.
Gasperini's comments in the press recently have not been particularly encouraging, basically saying that Malinowski needs to score more goals. So I don't know. Also, Ilicic,
old now.
Yeah. So they're missing, I think Muriel and Zapata actually are an excellent strike force with Malinowski. The three of them together, actually for an Atalanta club, I think that's a really good offering as quality players up front, but not a lot of depth. And then the midfield, I have some questions about. Rafael Toloi is in his 30s in defense. They have some older players, but for Milan, I'm a little worried this year, just because I think there's probably a championship hangover that I see. And so I'm curious to see whether or not that will continue as the season progresses.
I think Inter needs to win the title. That's what I have to say.
Inter put I believe it was Lecce to the sword over the weekend, and Lecce have never beaten Inter or whatever team they played. They smoked them.
It wasn't Lecce.
Spezia. Yes, it was Spezia. They smoked them. So anyway, that's my little Serie A thing. Serie A has been a little quiet to start the season. There's not a lot of drama in there.
Well, no big matchups yet. They'll come.
They will. So let's move on to the Champions League draw from this morning. Actually, hot off the press. Ooh, hot. So what do we think about the Champions League draw? I think there's some scintillating matchups. The group stage look great. Why don't, Chris, we start with you? Any first thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of draws, obviously the first group that comes to mind is the group with Bayern München, FC Barcelona, Inter Milan, and unfortunately poor last fourth of the group coming in during the draw, coming from Czech Republic, which is Pilsen. That will be their first participation in Champions League. Welcome to the group of death. I think their goal will be to try to get a point or two and steal a win here and there. But obviously, a few things. I mean, Barcelona and Munich. That is welcome back again because they played last year. It was during a COVID restriction in Germany, so the stadium was empty at the Allianz Arena, and Barcelona didn't play well and was depleted, and now it's a different squad. Speaking of the squad, it will be Lewandowski come back. And Thomas Müller is already very excited to host Lewandowski and show him that he speak the wrong team, as a German like to do things, and they are hoping to go at least 5-0 against them. But Barcelona is stacked. If they can finally register Jules Koundé at CBs, they will be stacked again. And so I'm very excited to see this group, and with Inter Milan also, there will be one of those three that will have to go to Europa League, and and Inter Milan has gotten more experience, and Barcelona is just coming back on a good level, I would say. So it will be like very exciting to see that group, and I'm very excited to see when the schedule gets released to see what's the first match day.
Mm-hmm. The Barcelona Inter, those two matchups will be big. It might be another tough European season for Inter Milan and the Italians.
Oh, you know why it won't be, Brian? Because while the rest of the world is in Qatar, the Italians will be cooking up a nice spicy dish of revenge. So I actually plan to see them. I actually think Inter will have a great season as a result. They won't have to worry about any of the silly distractions of qualifying for a World Cup, and they should be primed to perform against this group.
Wow, very confident. They will play all those games before the World Cup, though. So
all of the group stage games before the World Cup.
I think so, right?
Yeah, always. It's the last one is November 6th.
Yeah.
So.
They just won't have the distraction after they've already gotten eliminated.
Yeah, they won't be distracted. I'll promise you that. My other group that I'm looking at is the Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli group. I think that one's interesting, especially given Liverpool's current form.
Well, you forgot the fourth team in that group.
Oh, Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers will be fun. They're always fun. I think that'll be an interesting group. I think that'll be a lot more wide open, especially how Liverpool have started the season. That should be a fun round.
I'm going to be in Scotland the first week of October, and I'm really curious to see the schedule tomorrow to see if I can go to Celtic and Rangers back to back. That could be a tough move, but that's what I want to do. So, little Liverpool up in Glasgow against Rangers would be very nice, or Real Madrid up in Glasgow to play Celtic. I'll take either one.
I think also Spurs have a nice draw. I mean, not to say Eintracht Frankfurt is not an excellent team, but
No,
if you look at the rest of the group, Sporting and Marseille, I mean, as far as draws go for Spurs, I thought that was a good one.
I will
PSG,
say though, I thought so too, except that that pot four are pretty much all walkovers except for Marseille. So there's no freebie in that group.
That's true. Well, I mean, there's
no Maccabi Haifa or Victoria Pilsen.
PSG, Juventus, Benfica, Maccabi Haifa. You're correct. I think that will be an interesting group for Chris. I'm curious to see how Juventus performs in Europe. That'll be a good test against PSG. Man City, Sevilla, Dortmund, and Copenhagen. That'll be interesting. To be honest, there's no reason that City shouldn't cruise right to the finals, given the talent on paper. Every year we say this, and every year we find that they don't. So, I think it'll be interesting to see how they perform. They have all the tools. So then Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar, and Celtic. I'm surprised that Shakhtar is going to play.
Yeah,
they're depleted
at home. I believe they'll play either in Poland or Turkey.
Yeah,
that's a mess.
That's not good.
Sad.
Madrid should cruise. And Leipzig.
The group
that's a lousy group
that got the usual luck of like the weakest group. Last year, they had the Sheriff Tiraspol, which is like a team I've never heard, from Moldavia. And they couldn't even beat them at home. I think I remember It was difficult the first half. So, from what happens on paper, we always have surprises. Like, for example, like Liverpool, can they get full squad and can they get back to their level? Because it starts very soon this year. Typically, it starts middle of September, and now it starts the first week of right after Labor Day. So basically in a couple of weeks. So they have a couple of weeks to get back.
Brian's going to have a tough time juggling. This is my favorite time of year for Brian. Brian, the sports guy, has a tough time juggling all the different sports at one time. It's like one of those people who's like, oh, where do I look?
Sure, this happens every year when college football comes back in, and I have it's tough. It's going to be tough. It always is.
No, Champions League is easy, right? There is nothing in the week, and it's at noon. So if
Champions
you can
League,
watch your lunch break,
I don't miss the Champions League, but it's just the whole thing. It's just a lot of balls to juggle.
And the weekend, it's crazy, yeah.
Especially like if the Giants make a crazy push, like there's a lot of baseball games.
Not this year.
They play baseball year round.
You're safe. This year, they're gone.
Yeah, they should be gone. It's true. They suck.
Any other final thoughts on the Champions League draw from this morning?
Yeah, you didn't even let me talk about Paris Saint-Germain. Like, what the hell, man? I'm gonna be quick, I promise, but still.
Like, Chris, there's nothing to talk about. They're gonna cruise through their group.
No. I mean, hang on.
I expect them to dominate. That's all I have to say.
In fact, we should. Their group stink.
Chris, we shouldn't have to talk about PSG until the knockout rounds. This to me is a given.
Foregone conclusion.
They always make it. I think they must be like on like I don't want to be mala suerte. I don't want to be bad luck, but I think they've been qualifying to the round of 16 for at least like 10 times in a row at least. Even the year where it's been crazy. Like there was a year where like it was Napoli, Liverpool, and I was like, I wasn't sure they were gonna make it. There was a year where they had to win like 5-0 against Dinamo Zagreb, and they did win like 6-1 or something like that. And they always make it. So yeah, exactly. That's the thing for Paris Saint-Germain.
Anything less would be a catastrophic.
Who's the 3 and 4? It's Juve, right? That's the other team.
Juve. Benfica, actually, like they got Enzo Fernandez from River Plate, and he's already been playing well. The replacement of Darwin Nunez, Gonzalo Ramos is actually pretty good. But
Maccabi Haifa.
Maccabi Haifa, yes, it should be 7-0. Yes, 7-1 maybe.
Should be 20, 25.
Juventus isn't even beating Sampdoria. There's no concern here. PSG
but
better go 6-0 in this
Paris
week.
Saint-Germain, actually, I saw last time, I believe Paris Saint-Germain played in a group stage against Juventus. It was in 1996. I know it was a different time.
Zidane.
And at home, Paris Saint-Germain lost 6-1, I think.
Was Zidane just dominating?
Zidane
Or was
wasn't
he
there
not there
yet.
yet?
Zidane was still at Bordeaux. I was a few years later, so
This is
almost
so
you almost
pre-Colburn.
got the timeline right. But
This is so pre-Colburn. This is
that
like
was a
8
good
years
try.
before Colburn. This is like 10 years before Colburn.
Yeah, I mean, so it's almost like my time window only starts in 2006.
I actually had like FIFA 99. I used to play back in
wow.
the day. Oh, dude, those graphics were hilarious. I pretty much only knew like one team, so I just played with Man United and David Beckham. But
it was like Roblox running around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A
it's bad.
box instead of feet.
But it's still fun as hell.
Let me just say this. I expect PSG to make Maccabi Haifa rage quit after 10 goals unanswered.
They would want to. Yeah.
So that's all there is to that. Let's move on to a new segment we're gonna call "What Chris Saw on Twitter this week."
We need like a little jingle for this.
I know, in the post-production, we'll have our crack editing team put together a nice little montage. But every week, Chris will send us some things on Twitter, and generally they're hilarious, and so we thought we'd bring them to the people. So I'm going to use our Zoom slideshow here to display some of the funny things that we saw on Twitter this week. First up. Is Casemiro farewell presentation.
I completely forgotten about them because there are so many. There are so many that like the day where they happen, I get like so rattled, and I get actually sometimes pretty annoyed, and then after the day goes by, and then I get happy again. But that one, yeah, was hilarious. Like honestly, guy, I mean, for the ones that don't know. Casemiro was having his best career. He had another long deal with Real Madrid, and he has in Spain you are allowed to have a departure clause, which means like if you pay the clause, you don't have to negotiate with the club, which is Real Madrid, but that clause is $1 billion. Because Paris Saint-Germain bought the clause of Neymar there was $222 million, which at the time thought was impossible, and they did. And so Casemiro was playing well. He's maybe a bit past his prime, but like he definitely, even with Tchouaméni, still was a starter. And Manchester United decided to give $60 million and offer him a 6 years deal. That's almost doubling his salary. So here you go. You get the dollars.
This is hilarious.
Wiping his tears.
Casemiro is going to be great for Man United.
That's exactly what they need.
It kind of is, yeah. It's the midfield. It's always the midfield.
It's always about the midfield. All right, next up.
Eriksen.
This is going to be great. Next up is Puma. Why are you like this? Featuring the name tags, the name tag jersey mock-ups from all of the different Puma affiliated teams. Many have likened this to "Hi, my name is" in front of each national team jersey, which I think is hilarious. Look, these stink. These are lousy. It's almost like it's not almost like they mailed these in. They were like, you know what? You're not going to renew our contract, and screw you. Here you go.
Wait, are these all World Cup? Are these all World Cup jerseys?
Yes.
Who's in the middle? Top middle.
Top middle
is Morocco.
Morocco, yeah. That's the away jersey, not the home one.
What about bottom right?
Serbia.
Bottom right? Which one
Serbia?
is it?
Oh, Serbia.
Oh yeah, you're right. SRB.
Switzerland truly looks like a name tag.
I know.
Yeah,
this is a disaster.
I know. This is honestly.
Will it look good with the numbers? I still think
it
no.
better. I mean, it sucks.
It'll look a little better.
The Ghana one looks kind of like okay.
The Ghana one, these all look like night shirts. Like I'm going to bed and I'm gonna, I gotta wear something.
I know it's so disrespectful, honestly. Like, and it's like it's so obvious. like, like last year, Puma did the same thing with like a away jersey or third jersey for like Manchester City and all their teams, but with the home one actually. So maybe that's what they were doing, because that's the away one, not for all of them. Morocco's away, and I believe is that Cameroon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cameroon, that looks like their home jersey actually.
These stink. That's all I have to say about this.
Yeah, good call, Chris. These stink.
That's all I have to say there. Next on the list is Fabrizio Romano officially completed. Samuel Umtiti leaves Barcelona and joins Lecce on loan. This is great. I think he's a friend of the pod.
This is great. I think this is sad.
I'm happy that he has a place to play. He never plays for Barcelona.
Yeah,
I know, but it's a sign of his fall from grace. He blew out his knee just for the World Cup.
That's right.
Legend.
Well, he's a World Cup champion.
That's right. He'll go down as a World Cup champion.
Lecce. Where is Lecce?
In the south.
Oof. That means it's poor and shitty.
But good food.
Yeah, excellent food. I'm looking forward to seeing him in Serie A. In fact, we'll be checking in on him routinely over the course of the season.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, that's why it's a bit sad, because it's at first it started to be like, okay, it's gonna go to Portugal, it's gonna play for Sporting Lisbon, and that's Champions League, right? Because that's what he was saying. Is like apparently his agents were like, yeah, we were looking at like a team that plays Champions League, Then there was like Stade Rennais, who's like an ambitious French team that now is in Europa League, and the coach used to be his coach in Lyon. And the coach really wanted him, but like the sporting director was like, no, I cannot with his knee. Like he doesn't even play. We cannot take that risk. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to Lyon, where I come from the academy. And this year, like it's a revival of those years where they went there. Like Lacazette came back, Tolisso came back, and so he was just missing like Umtiti. And so he really thought, even though they are not playing in Europe, that he was gonna come back, and they're like, yeah, we cannot take that risk. And the sad thing is, like in Lyon, they need a C, because they have Jérôme Boateng, and he's like, he can't play either. And like when the Lecce news came out, and he went pretty quick, I was like, okay, this deal is done, and I couldn't believe it, because like it's like, this is gonna be a relegation battle, and as you mentioned earlier in the show, they took a bit of a beating against Inter Milan this weekend.
Barca will receive a bonus for each game he plays. It's interesting salary structure here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Finally, on the list of things that Chris saw this weekend is the U.S. men's national team leaked video, brought to you by some random Dick's Sporting Goods and some random Twitter account. Chris
hold on a second on this. Isn't that jersey long sleeve?
Yeah, I mean, this is to catch our viewers up. Chris has
like a hockey jersey.
Chris has been following the U.S. men's national team jersey leaking saga over the last month or so, and this is only the latest iteration here, which I love to follow here. US MNT only tweeted a bootleg video of somebody in Dick's Sporting Goods with these jerseys on sale. Now, I frankly do not believe these are real, and I do not invest any of my emotional bandwidth in these absolutely trash warm-up jerseys.
Chris, how real do you think that these jerseys are?
So at first, I was 100% with Corbin.
No, and now you're 150% with me. These cannot be real.
I am worried that now I'm not as confident as I used to be at first, because they really look like training jersey at best. Exactly.
But these are long sleeves though, right? I gotta understand. They never wear long sleeve jerseys.
Yeah. And honestly, like,
look at that, dude. This is a hockey jersey.
Yeah, the template at the top, the blue part at the top. Paris Saint-Germain has a training kit that's exactly like that. So that's why at first I was like, okay, this cannot be. And also, I don't know how you call that in English, the blazon, the crest, cannot be in the middle. Apparently, there are some FIFA requirement that says The crest needs to be on the left side of the jersey. On the right side, it needs to be at that size, and it needs to be blah 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 blah. And
This is
also
what we need, Chris. That's what we need.
Yeah,
And
this
also-
is fake bullshit. This is a hockey jersey. This is
And
the
look at
U.S.
also-
men's hockey jersey.
The swoosh is on the shoulder, which is like an NFL thing. And also the equipment brand also needs to be either on the right side of the jersey, on the left side of the jersey. And you see
Good, we just buried this.
the crest is also oversized compared to what the size of a crest can be, because there needs to be room on the right and the left, but it cannot be in the center based on the requirements. So based on that, I would say those are fake, but there have been another development today where Yunus Musa has been asked in press conference, like, what do you think of the US men's national team jersey releasing? And like, he was able to say a couple of sentences that didn't make any sense at all. Like, they were like, I don't know where to start. I don't know. I don't like this. He was speaking like this, and I was like, oh my God, those are reals, aren't they?
No, Chris, no, we cannot. These are not real. These are not even close.
This is literally for a different sport. They don't wear long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, as you can see in the background, it's supposed to be hot in the summer, even though technically we'll be in winter. It's still supposed to be 70
hot
degrees.
shit.
Yes, those can be, right? I hope those
No.
can be.
No, they're
There's
not. Chris.
no
They're
way.
not. Don't lose any more sleep over this.
There's no chance. And that is our new segment, what Chris found on Twitter this week. So that was great. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you everyone out for listening. That's our show. We really appreciate you tuning in. Again, you can find us as a Supersub Pod on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We would love to hear from you as well on the comment side. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next week with some of the latest from the weekend's action. So, gentlemen, thank you all. Have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
That's right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Au
Ciao.
revoir. Au revoir.